Business English Speaking Practice Conversation, Lesson 1. Are you looking to practice your business English conversational skills? Then this is the episode for you. We're going to do something a little bit different today and have a conversation together. Now, I know it's probably going to be a little one-sided, but I want you to participate and practice your conversational skills. I'll play my part. It's up to you to play your part, of course. This is Business English Speaking Practice Conversation, Lesson 1. My name's Timothy Barrett, and this is the 4 Business English Rundown. This is a show for professionals all over the world who want to improve their communication skills in English. Today we're going to have a practice conversation to help improve your business English speaking skills. So I'm going to spend some time asking some questions and talking about different things, and I'm going to leave some space for you to answer. So it's your responsibility, it's your assignment to answer the questions. If you haven't seen my other video about speaking aloud, I'll put a link to it here. But that's a great video to start with. I explain why speaking out loud by yourself, well, usually by yourself, you don't want to disturb the other people on the bus or the subway, but usually while you're at home is a great way to improve your speaking skills. So now I'm going to give you an opportunity to kind of put that to the test, to actually practice that. So I'll ask some questions and I'll pause, give you some time to answer. Now, maybe my pause isn't long enough. That's fine. I'm not making any judgment or, about how long it should take you to answer. I probably haven't even thought about it, so don't worry about it too much. If I move on too quickly, just hit the pause button, take your time and answer the question, discuss whatever you want to talk about, and then when you're ready, hit the pause button. I'll be here patiently waiting. Don't worry about it. Depending on your level, this can be used for beginner, intermediate, or advanced. If you're more advanced side of the spectrum, then don't hit the pause button so much. Just kind of listen through it and try to do your best the very first time. Don't pause and think about it. If you have difficulty understanding what I'm saying, just do the best that you can, but play through it all without hitting the pause, without rewinding. Now, if you're on the beginner end of the spectrum, then after I talk for a sentence or two, go ahead and hit pause, think about your answer. If you didn't quite understand what I said or what I asked, okay, rewind and then listen to it again. That's fine. If you need to listen to each question once or twice or 3 times before you're answering, or maybe you need a minute or two to kind of think about what your answer will be, that's fine. At least you're practicing, you're beginning that. And the more often you do it, the easier it will be. If we go through a few of these lessons, you're not going to need as much time. That's why we want to practice this. After you listen through it the first time, you can still come back and go through it one more time or multiple times. There's still room for improvement. And this is a great way, it's kind of speaking prompts to get you to talk about something, and you can respond and then continue the conversation. So you can replay this again and again. But of course, the first time, try to take it seriously, because this is the first time is when you don't know what's coming up, you don't know what the question is, so do your best with the unknown, because that's what most conversations are like, right? All right, let's jump into it. Hi, nice to meet you. My name's Timothy. What was your name again? Very good, very good. And where are you from? And what do you do? Very interesting. And what do you do for fun? How long have you been studying English, and how have you learned English? Is it just from school, or what else did you do to help improve your English skills? Oh, very good to hear. Now, how do you use your English skills? Do you watch movies, listen to music, maybe surf the internet? Or do you read at all in English, or do you use English with your work? Do you ever talk to foreigners in English, anything like that? Very good. And what is the most difficult part of speaking English for you? What do you find the most challenging? And what are your long-term goals for English? In 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, what kind of English level do you want to be? What do you want to be able to do in English? Oh, very good goals. Now, we've been talking for a few minutes now, so I want to ask you, how well can you understand me? Do you have difficulty understanding how I'm talking, how I'm conversing with you? Do maybe I need to slow down a little bit more or speak louder? What do you think? I'm sorry, I couldn't understand that last sentence. Could you say that again? Okay. So I'd love to hear more about your living place. Can you tell me about your home? Where do you live? And is that a city, a suburb, or out in the country? How would you describe that area, that neighborhood? And do you live in a house, an apartment? Is it big? Is it small? And who do you live with? Do you have family, or do you have roommates, or what is your situation like? So I've got a hypothetical question for you. Would you prefer a small apartment in the city center, or a larger apartment at the edge of the city, or a house in a yard outside of the city? Which of those options attracts you the most? And tell me why. Very good. Another question about your home now. What is your favorite part of your home? It could be a certain room or area of your home, or it could be the location, the price, something like that. What is your favorite part of your home? And how long have you been living there? Okay. So now the opposite. What's your least favorite part of your home? If there's one thing that you could change, what would you change about your home? If you could choose to live anywhere in the world, where would you want to live? Why there? Okay. So where you live now, do you take public transportation, such as bus or subway or the train, anything like that? And and if so, do you like it? What is the best mode of transport in your city? What's the best way to get from A to B where you live? Okay. Another question. Do you have a driver's license? And do you have a car? Why or why not? Okay. So another hypothetical question for you. What do you think of driverless cars? We've seen them in science fiction movies for a long time, but now they're starting to build these cars that you don't need a driver. You just tell the car where you want to go, and it takes you there. You don't have to drive it. Do you think What is your impression of these cars? Do you like these cars? Would you want to get a car like this, or would you prefer a human driver instead? What do you think? And a follow-up question. Let's say in 10 years from now, who will be safer? The human drivers or these AI drivers, these self-driving cars? What do you think will be safer in 10 years' time? Okay, very good. So what is your favorite genre of movies? For instance, do you like action movies? Do you like comedy movies, romantic comedy, documentaries? What is your favorite type of genre of movies? Okay. And do you have a favorite movie? If you were to list, let's say, your top three movies, what would your favorite top three movies be? Okay, I can see one and two, but three? Really? That's your third favorite movie? I don't know. Can you tell me how long ago you've seen that last? When was the last time you saw that movie? Okay. What about favorite actors? Do you have any favorite actors that you always like to watch? What do you think about new movies? Are the new movies better than what they came out with before, or do you like the older movies? Okay, so if you were to pick, let's say, picking a decade, which decade was the best for movies? Which 10-year period did they make the best movies in? Okay. And when you watch movies, do you watch them in English? Or are they dubbed? Or do they have subtitles? How does that usually work for you? Do you have trouble understanding sometimes what the actors are saying? Okay, very good. What about music? Do you like to listen to music? And what kind of music do you usually listen to? Okay. Do you have a favorite band or singer? And how do you listen to music? Do you listen to it through your phone or a tablet, computer, or do you have CDs or records, stereo? What do you usually use to listen to the music? Do you prefer to use headphones or not headphones? What about musical instruments? Did you ever learn to play a musical instrument? What was it? And what about now? Would you want to learn or keep playing it now? All right, interesting. Let's talk about vacations or traveling. You know, recently a lot of people haven't traveled much, but do you like to travel? And where have you traveled before? Where have you visited? What places? Which countries, cities, that sort of thing? All right. Have you ever been to Japan? What about the United States? Have you been to Europe? Where in Europe? Okay. So if you could visit anywhere next month, where would you want to go? Which place would you want to visit next? And why that place? What is your favorite part of traveling? What do you look forward to the most? All right, very good. What about the worst part of traveling? Is there some aspect that you just don't like when you do travel? Generally, where's your favorite place to vacation? Would you rather go to the city or the sea or the mountains? Are you looking for, someplace quiet, like a nice quiet resort, or someplace exciting where there's lots of things going on? What kind of place do you look for? All right, very good. Let's talk about your family a little bit. What is your family like? And do you live with your family now? Who's in your family? So, how many people are in your family? Do you have any siblings, brothers or sisters? How many do you have? Okay. What about cousins? How many cousins do you have? Okay. And are your grandparents still alive? Do you get to see them often, or what about them? And how many aunts and uncles do you have? Are you close to them? Do you see them frequently? When you were growing up, did you see them often? Were they nearby or were they far away? And what about your own family? Do you have a spouse? Do you have a husband or wife? And do you have any children? And would you like to have more children? Okay. How often do you get to see your extended family? And when you get together, what do you guys usually do? And where do you usually meet? Do you meet usually in the same house, or do you go to different houses? Do you rotate or meet someplace differently? Where do you go? Does your family have a regular reunion? Some families will try to get together, every year on a certain date or a certain holiday. Is your family like that, or when do you usually meet? All right. Did you have any questions for me? It seems like you've been doing most of the talking. Any questions for me? What would you like to know about my job? Oh, you have questions about my family? What questions do you have about my family? Oh, you want to talk about my traveling? Sure. What questions do you have about my traveling? All right, very good. All right, good job. I hope that you got something out of that. Was that useful for you? What do you think? If it was, let me know in the comments. If you could put in the comments what you thought was good or what you thought didn't work. Should I have more time in between questions or less time? Let me know. I'm curious. I hope that you'll continue this. How to improve your conversational skills. I got 3 ways for you. Practice, practice, and practice. The more you can practice, the easier conversation becomes. The more you can speak out loud, the easier it becomes. So really try to practice that. If you haven't watched that video, please check that one out. Now your goal, of course, is to speak naturally and have confidence. When we're speaking a foreign language, it can be very, very intimidating, very difficult. You're not sure, you're worried about all these other things. And some people can be worried even if you're speaking your native language, you're talking to someone new, if it's especially in a business situation, it can be kind of intimidating, kind of nerve-wracking, but certainly even more when you're speaking a foreign language. So we want to be able to speak naturally and have confidence when we're speaking. The more you can practice, the more the experience that you have, then the easier it becomes. So please don't give up, keep practicing. And like I said, you can watch this video back, or if you like this one, let me know in the comments and I can make more videos like this. Now, it's time to conquer that like button and make it ours. If you enjoyed this video, check out some of our other videos. Work hard today and enjoy tomorrow.